An expanding middle class, rapid urbanization, and changing consumer preferences have all contributed to the car industry's meteoric rise in recent years.
Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching In Depth with your host Kriti Mishra. Worried about climate change and rising crude oil prices for your car? Well, it's time to switch to alternative electric vehicles over traditional gasoline-powered cars. The EV market in India is growing like never before. In this edition, we'll explore why electric vehicles are at the forefront of India's mobility transition and why exactly you should switch to an EV. Get ready for this speed ride.
The transport sector in India is the largest user of oil and second largest source of CO2 emissions worldwide. India has seen a rapid increase in adoption of automobiles since the last 10 years. Currently, the Indian transportation sector accounts for 1/3 of the total crude oil consumed in the country, where 80% is being consumed by road transportation alone. It also accounts for around 11% of total CO2 emissions from fuel combustion. EVs have emerged as a promising alternative that could help in mitigating the adverse environmental impacts caused by conventional vehicles. The domestic vehicle sales data signifies that the two-wheeler segment, with more than 80% contribution towards total vehicle sales, is a major driver for increased sales in the Indian automobile sector. In the transformative landscape of India's transportation sector, the spotlight on clean energy during the last couple of years has set the stage for sustained electric vehicle adoption in India going forward. Contrary to a mere transient trend, the data points paint a compelling picture of the EV sector's enduring impact, with a projected 66% CAGR over the next decade to become a $200 billion plus industry by 2030. This estimated growth signifies a monumental shift in India's mobility paradigm. While electric vehicles have been around for a long time, the level of innovation and interest in the space has accelerated over the past decade. In terms of performance, there is no longer the gulf that once existed between EVs and their internal combustion engine counterparts. EVs, in fact, fare better than ICE vehicles on a range of transport policy goals, including enhanced energy security, reduced reliance on crude oil, better air quality, and lower greenhouse gas emissions. EVs are therefore emerging as a preferred clean technology for the future of mobility. The economics of EVs has also improved significantly, while advancements, especially in battery and charging technologies, are expected to reduce costs further. The EV opportunity has long been seen as a game changer for the automotive sector in India. A desire to reduce pollution levels and dependence on oil imports has bolstered the case for EV adoption. India's post-liberalization journey has encompassed rapid urbanization, migration, and economic growth. The factors that have also led to vehicular congestion in sprawling metropolitan regions and a drastic deterioration in air quality.
India becomes the center for exports of two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and in due course of electric buses from India to the rest of the world. That is the big challenge for India. And I am very, very hopeful that we'll be able to convert India into a global manufacturing hub for electric vehicles to the rest of the world. We'll use the strength of our domestic market to become a global champion in all these areas.
A combination of central and state level initiatives is driving the growth of EVs in India. Based on the type of incentives offered for EV promotion, policy initiatives fall into two broad categories: demand side and supply side.
The Union government has approved a scheme to promote India as a manufacturing destination so that e-vehicles or EV with the latest technology can be manufactured in the country. The policy is designed to attract investments in the e-vehicle space by reputed global EV manufacturers. This will provide Indian consumers with access to latest technology, boost the Make in India initiative, strengthen the EV ecosystem by promoting healthy competition among EV players, leading to high volume of production, economies of scale, lower cost of production, reduce imports of crude oil, lower trade deficit, reduce air pollution, particularly in cities, and will have a positive impact on health and environment. The policy entails minimum investment requirement of 4,150 crore rupees. There's no limit on maximum investment. Timeline for manufacturing: 3 years for setting up manufacturing facilities in India and to start commercial production of e-vehicles and reach 50% domestic value addition within 5 years at the maximum. Domestic value addition or DVA during manufacturing: a localization level of 25% by the third year and 50% by the fifth year will have to be achieved. The customs duty of 15% would be applicable on vehicle of minimum CIF and above for a total period of 5 years, subject to the manufacturer setting up manufacturing facilities in India within a 3-year period. The duty foregone on the total number of EV allowed for import would be limited to the investment made or equal to incentive under PLI scheme, whichever is lower. The investment commitment made by the company will have to be backed up by a bank guarantee in lieu of the custom duty foregone. The bank guarantee will be invoked in case of non-achievement of DVA and minimum investment criteria defined under the scheme guidelines. Policymakers in India have been actively pushing EV adoption in recent years. Government think tank Niti Aayog has specified the faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles and other policies supporting electric mobility, and that is expected to push EV sales penetration to 30% for private cars, 70% for commercial cars, 40% for buses, and 80% for two-wheelers and three-wheelers by 2030.
The manufacturing sector, the industry, because most of the industry people, they say that whatever government could do, they have already done. Now it is on those industry captains, it is for them, those of the mobility leaders, it is for those thought leaders to take it forward. At the same time, the consumers are also taking it forward in a big way. The way electric mobility is progressing forward in states like Karnataka, Kerala, in states like Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra. So it is phenomenal.
The development of the battery industry, charging infrastructure, and local supply chains are critical for EV adoption. With the objective of transforming India into a manufacturing and exports hub, the government has been promoting the localization of production across the EV value chain. In March 2019, the government outlined the National Mission on Transformative Mobility and Battery Storage, a 5-year phased manufacturing program running till 2024 to support development of few large-scale, export-competitive, integrated batteries and cell manufacturing giga plants in India. The Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship says that the EV industry could add 10 million direct jobs by 2030, which would create 50 million indirect jobs in the sector. Several automobile companies have plans to participate in the EV industry. There are policy initiatives supporting this move. The FAME India scheme for faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles was launched in 2015 for promoting growth and early adoption of hybrid and electric vehicles in the country. FAME 2 scheme was also launched in India with a budget outlay of 1.3 billion to support 1 million E2-wheelers, 0.2 million E3-wheelers, 55,000 e-passenger vehicles and 7,000 e-buses. The PLI scheme. The government introduced the production-linked incentive for advanced chemistry cell battery storage scheme. The scheme is expected to boost India's battery infrastructure. As per the union budget, the total outlay for the scheme is $2.45 billion, which would be disbursed to beneficiaries over 5 years once the manufacturing facility is set up. Battery swapping policy. A widespread charging infrastructure is essential for EV adoption. In this regard, on April 22, 2022, Niti Aayog released a draft battery swapping policy which will be valid until March 31, 2025. The policy will be implemented over a period of 1 to 2 years from the date of launch of the policy and will cover all metropolitan cities with a population greater than 4 million. The second phase will be implemented over 2 to 3 years from the date of launch of the policy and will cover all the UTs and major cities with a population greater than 5 lakh. Other initiatives include tax exemption, reduction of customs duty on nickel ore, and state-wise reduction of road tax and other incentives. The EV push in India opens a plethora of business opportunities across 3 key segments: mobility, infrastructure, and energy. These include opportunities in EV franchising, EV OEMs, battery infrastructure, solar vehicle charging, and battery swapping technology, among several others. According to Niti Aayog, the complete transition to EVs require a total investment of $267 billion in EVs, battery infrastructure, and charging infrastructure. We also have several startups in the EV space.
Something really good has happened in 2021 for the customer, the industry, and the country. It's been a dream run for electric two-wheelers. Customers bought as many electric two-wheelers in a single year as they bought in the last 10 years. And this is just the beginning. Our next goal is 1 crore electric two-wheeler in a year by 2025. And the industry is confident to achieve it. All this has been made possible by the bold and very effective positive steps taken by the government recently and the participation of the industry. I used to say, e-mobility is a 3-legged race that needs policy support. Now the statement we can confidently make is, e-mobility is a chariot being pulled by 2 winner horses.
Curious to know how EVs would handle on the road? Will they be slow to respond or smooth? Do we have to learn to drive them differently? Let's take you out for a long drive.
There is one aspect of automotive engineering that can profoundly impact the driving experience: emotions. While sitting behind the wheels, the silent engine, the grip of tires, and the cues come together to create an atmosphere that goes beyond the mechanical. This taps into our deepest feelings, connecting us to the car and the road in an instinctual way. Behind the steering wheel of an electric car, drivers often experience a unique blend of emotions that set e-vehicles apart from their internal combustion engine counterparts. The ability to control and customize the sounds, both within and outside the vehicle, opens up new avenues for creating a more engaging driving experience. The Indian EV industry is slowly gathering momentum, supported by government initiatives and rise in crude oil prices, as people look for alternative sources to reduce their monthly bills. However, a mass shift from internal combustion engine vehicles to EVs requires expansion of infrastructure facilities, including charging stations, and vehicles that could provide a high range, that is, kilometer range, within a single charge. Several initiatives taken by the government to support the manufacturing and adoption of electric vehicles in the country should help in achieving the target of 100% EV adoption by 2030.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.